Well, hello once again. It's the Manlikeradio. I'm your host, Richard Boyd, and we are back on again for this night. And say hello to all of you out there who are watching us all over the place, community, wherever you're watching us. God bless you. And of course, we've got a good one tonight. Tonight we're actually calling this one tonight. And I'm even looking here at our social media. No, we're not taking questions yet, but thank you to all of you who's going to join up. And Brother Stan, I know you're there. I know you're someplace hiding up there on the other side of
Yeah, I'm hiding here in the hot city of Arlington.
Oh, man, it's hot over there, isn't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Well, it's hot.
It's 100 degrees right now.
Oh, man. Well, it's hot down here in San Antonio. It's got me itching.
I bet.
But I don't think it's as hot as you guys yet.
I don't know.
Well, we're supposed to get like that tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we was 107 today.
Oh, well, we're not there yet, but I guess we're climbing. Oh, man, that is awesome. But all right, we're going to get right into it tonight. Tonight, we're talking, Stan, about the fire within. And I know you love the subject when it deals with success and dealing with the heart of men and women growing for God, but especially the men aspect, which is what we want to see.
Yeah.
Stan, does every man have a fire within?
Oh, no doubt. Man has a creative fire, more than a born fire, but a creative fire within him. So I'll explain what I mean by that later as we move forward.
Okay.
So yeah, the fire. The question is, you got to light it and you got to keep it burning.
Right. And we know that we agree right away, right off the back, that God puts that fire there for them, for them to become the purpose. And we're not talking about just preaching, because it seems like, I don't know, Stan. I don't know. I heard a survey the other day, I don't know if it's true, that less are getting into the ministry now than before, because our generation was kind of trained towards being preachers. And the thing like, if you work, you're not full-time, which is nonsense, stuff like that, you have to be full-time. I mean, I think the Apostle Paul worked. I don't know. I'm just trying to, I don't know if I remember my Bible correct.
Yeah, side gig going.
Yeah. And Jesus, as far as we know, I mean, I know people say he was a carpenter. Actually, we don't have the proof. We only know that his father was. But then again, we could assume and say, yes, he was. I mean, he could have been a plumber, painter. But anyway, I'm just saying, because they said, is not this the carpenter's son? They never really said the carpenter, but yes, we go ahead and say we take our dad's trade. So what I'm saying is, but that the old school system was, if you weren't full-time or whatever. So the fire is not just for preaching. There are other things we can do for God and become the best, correct?
Oh, no doubt. Matter of fact, the preaching is supposed to be about the fire in every person. And the fire of preaching is supposed to be about the fire in the person.
Okay.
So,
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so when the purpose of preaching is not known, then the purpose cannot be achieved, cannot be fulfilled, and that is, again, the purpose of the preaching is to light the fire in the people for the purpose of God concerning their lives.
Well, you know what, Stan? We could go on that one and take a whole, I guess one day we have to take a whole thing on that. But let me ask you this, because you as usual, you always stir up something, especially in me. So what we're saying is this. Let's get this off. Even though I know we might slightly go off a teeny bit, but stay on course. I guess kind of go off course a little bit, but we're still going the straight track. What I'm trying to get to is that, so really as ministers, let's talk about ministers for a moment. We usually don't on Manlight, but let's talk about it. We should not, you and I being leaders, ministers, pastors, should not necessarily be training men to preach, you're saying, alone?
Alone.
Go ahead.
So that's not the assignment for every man, first of all.
Right.
And so, because, Paul said it like this. He said, the purpose of my apostleship is for your edification. See? And then you go look over in Ephesians 4 where he talk about that the gifts are given to
edify.
Perfect the saints. As you perfect the saints, then you edify the body.
Okay.
You see? So it means you got to build up the individual in order to increase the group, in order to better the group. And so when you understand that there's something in every person that gifts are supposed to ignite. For example, if I gave you a gift, Richard, I walked up, presented you, gave you a gift, that's going to ignite something in you.
Right.
The fact that I gave you a gift, whether it ignites our friendship or ignites good feelings about me or whatever the case may be, or ignites you about your curiosity. But a gift ignites things, and this is why Jesus gave gift, because he wanted what he put in every person to be ignited, and so he put in us to ignite things in us. Obviously for the good. But then you can light a fire that can burn down a house too.
Okay. Right.
So we talk about all things being equal. We talk about in the positive sense.
So I guess I could make it this way, Stan. I like to make an analogy. A stove causes heat in the house, but it don't burn it down unless it gets out of order.
Exactly. When you misuse it, it gets out of order, then it goes the other way.
Right. So
and that's what's happening.
Go ahead. I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That the fire is going the other way. And we being consumed by the fire instead of being ignited by the fire and then consuming things around us and then achieving things in life that we should be achieving, because the fire of any man's success, man, it's got to be something that he takes responsibility for. But it doesn't. But you need to build an environment that helps ignite that fire. Because a lot of times, we know how to light our fire, but we don't realize we're in an environment that when we light it, the environment pours water on it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So really what I'm saying again, which, you've come down already and said that before we even go further on, is that our job is not necessarily, because I know, at one time, Stan, I came out of a quote denomination for a number of years that they basically, I was taught every man should be discipled to preach. Every man's a preacher.
Wow.
And I saw over the years men who went into the ministry full time to preach, and they got destroyed.
Yep.
They got wiped out.
Trained to do something they didn't have the grace for.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. And so you can't keep. That really wasn't a fire. That was what they call one of those. You ever seen one of those fake fireplaces?
Yeah.
Look like fire, feel like fire, but it ain't real fire.
It can't warm you up, can't do nothing.
Yeah, so we got a lot of that going on, and it's like the enemy knows it more than we do.
Wow. Okay, so every man, we already stated, we've got that religious part off there, okay? Every man has a fire burning in him. Okay, so Stan, how do we bring out that fire?
First of all, I think emphasis on helping men understand that, listen, that you are created in the image of God, and there's many sides or shades of God's image, and so therefore we all share a part of the same image, but we are unique. And so you got to encourage the uniqueness of every person, because when people grab that, man, that stirs them up, that ignites them. But when you think that, hey, you just another man, you just like everybody else, whatever, man, it's hard to light a fire in that.
Right. Correct.
But when you understand how unique you are, though we are similar and we got some of the same thing, but still there could be just one thing that makes us unique, and then you gotta build on that uniqueness, and that no man brings the same thing to the table. Period.
Right.
And that's not better or worse. That's just awesome and great. You know what I'm saying? And you get men to believe that and understand that, then it kills the competition, because that's another thing that kills our fire, is that, we feel that we can't compete.
Right, correct, yes.
And we can't keep up. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I focus on my uniqueness, and my uniqueness makes me only compete with myself and not another person, not another preacher. And so I stay fired up no matter who's fired up or who's not fired up, because I'm the only one responsible for my fire.
I got my... Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go and finish it out.
I got my brothers and my sisters, who come alongside, and we help us one another. We encourage each other. But no one's responsible for your fire but you. And God put it in you, and God give you the tools to keep putting wood on the fire. Simple as that.
Right. So, but you will agree upon this, and you and I talked about this before, because you're about one of the only few, besides two others that I can talk with this on, is that today, over the century, over the years, I should say, especially in America, the church has destroyed, has caused itself, I should say, for not being effective, not destroy itself, take that back, but cause itself because of competition.
Yeah, competition, man.
Right.
You know, and just think about it, man. When let's say you got a group of people of 10 people, and you teach those 10 people, how unique they are. Can you imagine the forest fire you can build with those people, that everyone got a fire in that group because everybody understands that, hey, we bring a uniqueness, and it kills the fire. Watch this. The fire burns up the competition between them.
Right.
And they start complimenting one another.
Right.
And because you think about it, if you want to light up a forest, you want to light up a city, just get several separate fires to come together, and they'll create a major burning. But when you got fires competing one another, somebody's gonna put somebody out.
I didn't mean to laugh, Stan. Just the way you say that, somebody's gonna put somebody out, and usually sometimes the good one goes out. Right?
Exactly. And that's kind of how we can tell, that whether or not we're using ourselves appropriately. Because if what I bring to the table stamps you out, then that means I have the wrong approach, possibly, or you're not secure enough in what you have. And so what I need to do as your brother, I need to really, show you that, man, I'm here to compliment you. Just like we're doing on this broadcast, I'm here to compliment you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel no competition. I don't feel like I gotta give an answer that Richard can't give. You know what I'm saying? And no, you say what you say, I say what I say, and we compliment one another. And what happens? And in turn, we end up blessing people. Right.
Well, see, that's what I'm getting to again. So, and we have that even in the church. We have people competing. So you're saying the goal is, which we know is not to compete, but to complement. But Stan, what about those who say, especially in America, hey, competition is good. It fosters, like in companies, technology. It fosters growth. It fosters quality.
Yeah. Competition is good for people who don't know how to compliment. That's all you got. And that's a worldly perspective. So if you want to live in that arena, then you're right. You better be very competitive. But here's the thing about it though. With that mindset, everybody can't win.
Right.
But when we compliment each other, everybody can win.
Right.
So which is the better situation? Where only a few can win, or where everybody can win?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, you know what, Stan? We see today in the cell phone industry.
Yeah.
You got your Android, you got your Apple, and they're all fighting each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it to me, it also cuts out the little guy who might have something to come up one day.
Yeah.
Because after all, and then the two get together and squash him. They get back fighting with each other again, and they're both making money. That's what I can't get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we draw that fire out of men. Okay, let's talk about that. So another way is, through complimenting, through encouraging them. And again, if you're just joining in, we also said, and those who come in later, who listen to us recorded later, can hear it again. But we join in, we draw that fire out of men. And we already stated that men have fire. There's a fire that God's given them. You think, Stan, that's one of the reasons why so many men today, not every case, but many are in prison, men are struggling, depressed and down, because they don't understand what that fire is. Nobody has either taught them, or they have not, like you said, we're the ones who ultimate the decision. They have not sought the Lord, or sought someone, or them in their own heart to find out what it is.
Yeah, because, again, environment, you and I both came up in a rough environment. And that was many things that transpired in our surroundings, and growing up in the ghetto in the hood, that could have put your fire for life out. And another word for fire is hope. I talk to a lot of young men, man, and I hear things like, you know what, man, I ain't got no choice because they ain't got no hope in anything else. That means they don't let something or somebody put their fire out. And they don't understand the power and authority they have by having hope, and so they think because they can't get help here or get help there, then they have no hope. Yes, you do. Sometimes you got to change. You got to change the environment and get around people who can help you with your hope thing, because that's what it is.
Right.
That when a man loses hope, that means the fire's gone out.
Yeah, he's basically lost almost everything.
Yeah. So we got it. So Jesse Jackson was right. You got to keep hope alive, bro.
Right. No. At least one thing was right.
Yeah. I give him credit all of that.
Right. Well, no, you're right. No. But even though there's some things too, but I agree, because I know sometimes in the Christian world, Stan, we kind of go off left base and figure just because a person is bad, they can't say nothing good.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. Yeah.
And even Jesus allowed, what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, I didn't see Jesus trying to shut everybody down. What I'm saying? Exactly. After all, he was the way that he just directed him to the right way.
Yeah.
Because you take the rich young ruler. He never really said, are you no good low life? He just said, well, you've done all these things.
Right.
There's only one thing you ain't done. You ain't follow me. That's it.
Exactly.
You've kept the guy even kept the law. Whoa. So the commandments. What I'm saying to you is, so we're at that stage right now where that fire has to be drawn out of men. And that hope comes alive. So like how you said that fire is hope. God places that there. And Stan, God places it there to give us a destiny?
Yes.
Purpose?
Yes, sir. Exactly, because there is a finish line, in life. You usually want to finish in everything in life. And because that's what drives the hope. The fact that there is a destiny, there is a end result that we are to achieve. There is a point of fulfillment and finishing, and when you think about that, I tell people often, especially brothers, that you know what, you don't want your life to end without you having finished, but for things to finish, it has to end, but every end is not a finish.
Right. Correct. Yes.
And that's how you draw that fire out of them. That what. Man, you're in a race called life, and you want to win and you want to finish, and so you got to live your life with a passion and with an urgency to finish, your race, and don't just be in the race and get kicked to the sideline because you got tired or whatever the case may be, and you want to finish. So that's the kind of stuff that drives my fire and keep my fire lit. Is I want to finish, and I want to finish strong. And so that means I got to keep on fighting. And
another analogy I can bring to that, Stan, is very simple, is that when a fire burns, it consumes everything. It will burn everything it can in its way. And sometimes in our lives, I like what you're saying, as we don't allow that fire to burn up that which God has given or allowed us to consume for his glory.
Right.
And because this, Stan, it's not starting. Anybody can start. It's people who are incomplete.
Yep. Yeah, and the reason you don't complete because you don't continue.
Mm-hmm. I find this in the church, Stan. I think you do as a leader, as a pastor, that sometimes I'll ask people to do something, and one of the worst things they end up doing, and I guess some people are even watching me now from the church, one of the worst things I see they end up doing, they end up taking it off course from what the plan that we discussed about in the beginning.
Right.
And then they think you're trying to be dogmatic against them when you're really saying, no, God told me this way. But I'll release it for you. Just like later you'll tell somebody one day and you would want it that way, as the Lord says. But they seem sometimes to go to another side and say, well, I just, and you find it a lot?
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to keep people on task, and that's why you have a vision. And that vision is the end. And if what that action don't lead to that vision, then you didn't obey, you didn't fulfill, so you don't get credit for that. So it's got to end here, this way, and so we got to project what the end's going to be, and that tells you what you should be doing. So make sure you end up, at that point.
Wow. Yeah. So wow. That is so true. That is so true in that era. So we talk about the fire that every man has, and every man. Stan, let's talk about the other part now. Is what about when men lose it? What are some ways to gain it? When that fire has. And I always say, I've said this before, Stan, and you can tell me wrong or right. It's okay, I don't mind. I've always said some people are like the eternal flame they have in Washington at Kennedy's Memorial. It's a little flame that always burns. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But we need to get a consuming fire.
Exactly.
And sometimes,
go ahead. Yeah, I believe that you're right. I believe that's right. That the fire's always there, and just because you don't see it, don't mean it's not there.
Right.
I think that's what happens a lot of times. We get so many things in our lives, and that consumes us so much that it distances us from our passion and from that fire, and we think it's gone out. It's not gone out. It's just there's too much distance, between you and it, and you have to re-engage it. And it's covered by too many different things in your life, too many different experiences,
Right.
And that's the thing that use another, we get overcome with experiences. But underneath the pile of all those experiences is that fire still burning. It's just not strong enough to consume.
Right. Right.
And so
right.
That's what you got to do.
Yes. And that's where also, I guess, and you said it's real good. Good leadership, proper leadership, with the leading of God, would bring out the true fire in a man.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why, Stan, the jail systems and a lot of and I'm not saying, when I go medical, people start freaking because I know, Stan, I respect doctors. People think I don't.
Right.
I don't. I just say they don't have the last word. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
But many people think that I don't. Yeah, I do. I respect because they have, and you can't blame them, Stan. They can only do what they learned. Correct?
Exactly.
If you and I go to med school and we can only do what we learn. We can only give the diagnosis according to what we're taught and by experience.
Right.
But what I'm saying but I think sometimes in our life is that the jail system and medical and so sometimes how do they put back, and I understand if a person is sick, it takes a time, but that fire, they don't seem to be able to put that fire in or it removes the fire. Is it because, again, their competitive spirit? Is it because there's a struggle going on in the man's life? Especially if he's in prison?
Yeah, man, I mean, that's a myriad of things, man, but when guys, feel like everybody's against them, and trying to destroy them, that can be very discouraging, very disheartening.
Right. Yes.
But what a real man has to do is that he has to understand that your fire should not be based upon who's with you and who's not with you. Because when it does, that means you put the responsibility of it in somebody else's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what your circumstances are, you can rise above it, but you got to pull yourself above it.
Right.
And I just believe, that listen, I believe every man has what he needs because the Bible says God has blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places. He's given us all things pertaining to life and godliness. No man can give another man anything. All I can do is help stir up and ignite what you already have. And I just think that's something that has to be constantly, reiterated and remind people of that, man, it's there. You got to choose to use it, though.
Right.
Because you don't choose to use it. It's money in your pocket, but you choose not to spend it, then you're going to starve to death. Simple as that.
Right.
And it's because of money, it's because you choose not to use it.
Right. You know what? I thank all of you are sending out the hearts and the thumbs ups and so forth on social media. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. But you know what, Stan? We've actually, I think people understand, we've actually cut the Man-Like program back by the advice of some experts.
Okay.
And I think we talked about it before. So we're actually coming to the end of it. And some people are going, but the advice is, and I think it's been good because we've watched it over the past few weeks, that the viewership has gone up since we've kind of cut back.
Great.
And not because we're trying to cut the word, we're trying to make it as comfortable and as doable as they say. As right. Stan, any closing words to those who might be listening, who male and female, and I know it's a Man-Like program, both might be a husband or wife, when it comes to getting that fire back in their lives or burning with that fire in God?
You know what? Let me tell you the one master thought that I think that keeps my fire lit and light anybody's fire and light the fire is that begin to focus on, living as God created you, regardless of where you were born, how you were born, and when you were born. Because the way God created you is so awesome. it is so awesome that it said it's like him. So if that thought don't ignite anything, then you just stay in the grave, I guess.
Right. Well,
so live as you were created.
Well, thank you, Stan. Stan, as always, it's a blessing to have you, man. As always.
Blessing to be with you, man. Always, brother.
Yeah, and we just want to say to all of you, thank you once again for listening to Manlike Radio. You can go to manlikeradio.com and get another condensed version. We have that and send it out to folks. That's about 5-10 minutes. Or you can listen to the whole program. Manlikeradio.com is the way to go. Thank all of you on social media. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank God there's no thumbs down. But anyway, and thank you so much. And somebody wrote a comment in here, but Stan, unfortunately, I think it's a continual. It's not finished. So I didn't want to answer that today, but I just want to say thank you to all of them out there. And guys, Pastor Stan Ferrell says, and I'll say to you, Richard Boyd here, don't lose the fire. Keep pressing on and be who God's called you to be. Agree, Stan?
Amen.
Well, God
bless. Amen, brother. Bless.
Thank you once again for joining us on this Manlike podcast. Please take time and email us at manlikeradio@gmail.com. Once again, that's manlikeradio@gmail.com. Manlike Podcast is a production of R.N. Boyd Productions and Love Gospel Network. Please seek a qualified professional in the area you need immediate help.